I mean, they've put like whatever 500 or 600 January 6 protesters in prison, and not one person on the Epstein client list.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
You know.
Is he been formally charged, or does he just know that this shit is out there?
I think there's just so much shit out there.
Bro, I think those rappers did some wild shit.
Or maybe it's somewhere north of 100 is what it seems like.
Yes. I bet you know 80 of them.
I probably know most of them, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, just by virtue of your job and what you've been doing for the last 30 years, I mean,
yeah.
And I should say, I think you voted for it.
I'd like to see a matchup of those, we call it the top 100 puppet masters in the Epstein client list.
Musk has always been one for controversy, but this time he's dropped a bombshell. His now infamous tweet suggested that between Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein, there's probably several thousand hours of, well, let's just say, interesting footage. That tweet, of course, went viral, and speculation exploded like fireworks on the 4th of July. People are questioning what Musk knows, and more importantly, what kind of dirt these videos might hold on some very high-profile people. Could the identities of these 13 elites really be as shocking as Musk is hinting now? Musk isn't just pulling this out of thin air. Diddy, who's found himself in all sorts of trouble recently, supposedly invested in Musk's Twitter buyout, Diddy, the guy at the center of serious legal messes, was involved in the Musk acquisition that dominated headlines. So naturally, folks started connecting the dots. If Musk's good buddy Diddy was this deep into it, just how much did Musk know about his activities? And more importantly, why does it look like Musk suddenly wants to throw his old pal under the bus?
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes. And Gates.
And Gates. It feels like we're getting to a place where the rest of us know too much. Is this, do you know what I mean? I mean, it's easier to live in a society where you don't really know what the people in charge are doing or why they're doing it.
Elon Musk loves to paint himself as a guy who's in the know, especially about the shady goings-on of the world's most powerful. He's out here dropping hints that this supposed footage could blow the lid off some pretty unsavory activity by people we see all over our screens. Not that he's shown any proof, but it's enough to get people buzzing, and that's clearly what Musk is good at. As the Diddy drama intensifies, Musk's friendship with him has come under major scrutiny. Musk's claim that there are thousands of hours of compromising footage involving Diddy and Epstein sounded like he was almost daring people to look deeper. It's the kind of move that's half whistleblower, half guy on a bar stool. Whispering, I know stuff, but I can't say it. If anything, it's a calculated attempt by Musk to distance himself from whatever nuclear fallout might come Diddy's way. Their romance has been pretty public. Musk has called Diddy a good friend and bragged about them texting often. Heck, Diddy even threw in over $10 million to help Musk buy Twitter, which certainly raised a few eyebrows. But when Diddy's legal problems started piling up, Musk suddenly shifted gears. He's making sarcastic remarks on Twitter like how many people knew about this, which feels like an effort to put a whole lot of distance between him and his former bestie. You've got to wonder if Musk really didn't know about any of Diddy's alleged misdeeds, or if he just chose to ignore them because, well, business is business. There's this ongoing debate about whether Musk was genuinely oblivious or if he's just very good at pretending to be, because right now he's looking more like a friend who is ready to dip the moment things got ugly. The public's not missing that inconsistency either. The same Musk who talks a big game about ethics and transparency is somehow slow to condemn Diddy now that the spotlight's too bright. Things really got interesting at that infamous Dave Chappelle show back in 2022. Musk and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Musk even took the stage with Chappelle, only to be met with a chorus of boos, not exactly the hero's welcome he's used to. Chappelle, in his usual style, tried to play it off, joking that it sounded like Musk's fired Twitter employees were in the crowd. The takeaway, though, was clear. Not everyone was thrilled with Musk's new Vontae. Billionaire swagger and being seen with Diddy, who was knee-deep in his own controversies, only made things messier. And while Musk was trying to convince everyone the crowd was mostly cheering, spoiler, it wasn't, public couldn't help but wonder what's Musk doing hanging out with Diddy in the first place. Diddy was already dealing with some pretty damning accusations, and Musk's association with him didn't exactly scream man of the people, especially when he's out here trying to reshape Twitter, now X, into some ethical, transparent haven, whatever that means. Musk's claimed that there's loads of compromising footage of Diddy, and Epstein may well be his way of jumping ship. He's distancing himself, but the whole thing feels like a high-stakes game of chess, a guy who's trying to get ahead of whatever might come out next. But at the same time, his critics argue that this just shows Musk will do whatever it takes to keep himself clean, no matter who he throws under the bus along the way. One minute, Musk and Diddy are all smiles at a comedy show, and the next Musk's throwing shade like he never knew the guy. Diddy's web of connections doesn't end with Musk either. We're talking about time with other billionaires, from Mark Wahlberg to Jeff Bezos. Diddy had his fingers in a lot of pies. From investing with Wahlberg in that fancy water brand, to rubbing elbows with Bezos at exclusive shindigs. It's all very, I'm not just a rapper, I'm a businessman. He was clearly very good at making those relationships count. But now, as Diddy's facing one lawsuit after another, the same people who were happy to be seen with him are suddenly nowhere to be found. The silence from Mark Wahlberg, for example, has been deafening. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out why online conspiracy theories have gone into overdrive, with people drawing their own conclusions about Diddy's deep ties to the wealthy and powerful. Powerful, from Ron Burkle's investments in Diddy's clothing line to Bezos being spotted at the same parties. It's starting to look like everyone's trying to tiptoe away without anyone noticing. These partnerships used to be all about building each other's brands. But now that the ship's sinking, it's more about who can get to a lifeboat first. And then there's Musk's reputation, which is currently on pretty steep decline after all the praise Musk showered on Diddy, calling him a friend, a business partner, someone who'd invested in his takeover of Twitter. The backtrack couldn't be more obvious. It's almost laughable watching Musk trying to play, like, both sides. One minute, he's claiming the crowd loved him at Chappelle's show, and the next, he's throwing Diddy under the bus with a sarcastic tweet. If anything, this whole scandal might finally show that Musk isn't untouchable, because the thing about making deals with controversial figures is that when the dirt comes out, you get caught in the splash zone. Even Diddy's kids are feeling the ripple effects. Barron Trump and Chance Combs, both at NYU, have found themselves in the middle of this mess thanks to the attention on their famous dads. It's a weird overlap. Barron studying business at Stern while Chance is chasing a creative career at Tisch. The timing couldn't be worse, as Diddy's empire seems to be crumbling under the weight of scandal after scandal. Chance, who had her acceptance into NYU celebrated by her dad before all this blew up, now has to navigate her education under the shadow of her father's ongoing legal drama. Let's not forget Jaden Smith, who's found himself dragged into this whole fiasco after a video of him crying started making rounds online. People began connecting it to Diddy's infamous parties. Rumors spiraled with wild claims that Jaden had been pressured by his own father, Will Smith, to get involved in some shady dealings at Diddy's events. The video, of course, had nothing to do with any of that. Jaden had posted it himself, just trying to connect with his fans, but that didn't stop the internet from running wild with speculation, and now both Jaden and Willow Smith are at the center of these conspiracy theories, with some even suggesting Will Smith sold them to Diddy for career gain. The Smith-Diddy connection goes way back, and now with all these fresh allegations and accusations, people are wondering just how close these friendships really were. Did Will Smith know about the things Diddy was allegedly up to? If he did, how much did he care, as long as his own interests were protected? It's a murky, uncomfortable look at the kind of alliances forged behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood parties and VIP lounges. As for Diddy, it looks like his empire is facing a reckoning, with allegations, lawsuits, and even his business partners pulling back. The future for him is uncertain, to say the least, and as the connections between Musk, Diddy, and other high-profile figures unravel, the world is left watching, wondering who will jump ship next, and what other secrets these elites are hiding behind closed doors. Musk's attempts to distance himself from Diddy are emblematic of a larger trend within elite circles, where loyalty only goes as far as the public's tolerance for scandal. Musk's behavior in recent weeks suggests that he might be thinking about preserving his public image above all else. He was happy to associate with Diddy. A closer look at how Musk navigates his friendships and alliances with powerful figures, his network, which ranges from Hollywood celebrities to tech mogul, has been the subject of fascination for years. People admire Musk for his ability to seemingly bridge worlds. One day he's on a stage promoting clean energy, and the next he's seen attending high-profile events with musicians and movie stars. It has been part of what has made Musk's persona so fascinating. But this very ability to move between worlds without fully belonging to any of them has started to look more like a liability than an asset. The cracks in Musk's alliances are showing, and it's not just with Diddy. Over the years, Musk has courted controversy through his connections with other powerful figures who are now facing their own issues. The broader problem for Musk is that these relationships create a pattern where he's always hovering around figures just before their downfall. It's the kind of guilt by association that could tarnish even a reputation as strong as Musk's. And right now, people are watching to see if he's as good at managing the expendables as he is at launching rockets. Diddy, what time did you start here? About 7 o'clock? Then you have 5 hours of undisturbed focus. Turn off everything else and make a diligent notebook. Diddy, meanwhile, finds himself in a different situation, unlike who has built his fortune primarily through technology. Diddy's empire has always been an intricate web of music, entertainment, fashion, and business deal. His rise to the top was marked by his uncanny ability to collaborate and align with other powerful individuals. This method of building his empire also meant that when the winds of scandal began to blow, they hit hard and fast across multiple industries. With allegations and lawsuits pouring in from all angles, Diddy's empire is starting to feel like it's held together by a thread. The legal troubles surrounding Diddy began to gain serious traction after his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against him in late 2023. The lawsuit, which accused Diddy of years of mistreatment, was settled quickly, but it opened the floodgates. In the months that followed, more individuals began coming forward, sharing their own stories, painting a picture of a powerful man who had used his position to exploit others. For Diddy, these stories represented more than just legal challenges. They signaled the collapse of a carefully curated public image that had taken decades to build. It wasn't just the accusations themselves that damaged Diddy. It was the shift in how he was perceived. The glamorous parties, the high professional business ventures, and the close friendships with influential figures all began to look different when viewed through the lens of the allegations against him. What once appeared as the behavior of a savvy businessman now looked more like a man using his influence to shield himself from accountability. And as this shift in perception occurred, those who had once been close to Diddy started quietly backing away. One of the most significant blows to Diddy's public image came when reports emerged that his business partners were distancing themselves. People who had once been proud to be associated with Diddy's ventures were now doing everything they could to put some space between themselves. The growing scandal, it was a stark contrast to the days when Diddy was celebrated as a business mogul who could turn anything he touched into gold. Now it seemed like everything he touched was turning into a liability. Meanwhile, Musk's attempts to distance himself from Diddy only added fuel to the fire. It was becoming increasingly clear that Musk was willing to do whatever it took to maintain his own reputation, even if it meant throwing his former friend under the bus. And for a man who prides himself on his loyalty to the truth and transparency, this behavior was starting to look a lot like hypocrisy. Musk's critics have been quick to point out that he can't claim to stand for ethics and integrity, while simultaneously abandoning his friends the moment they become inconvenient. It's not just Musk critics who are noticing this hypocrisy. His supporters are starting to see it too. The backlash from the Dave Chappelle show was a sign that Musk's public image isn't as bulletproof as it once seemed for years. Musk has been able to weather controversy after controversy, but this time feels different. The combination of his attempts to distance himself from Diddy, his awkward handling of the crowd at the Chappelle show, and his increasingly erratic behavior on social media have all started to chip away at the image he's worked so hard to build.
Hey Dave, you think it's too early to make jokes about Diddy? You like that? Come on, crack one to him.
Also, the issue of how Musk's relationship with Diddy might impact his businesses, Tesla, SpaceX, and even X, are all companies that rely heavily on public perception. Musk's brand has always been closely tied to his businesses, and if that brand takes a hit, it could have serious consequences for the companies he runs in. Investors are paying attention to Musk's every move, and if they start to see him as a liability rather than an asset, it could spell trouble for his empire. The same is true for Diddy. His brand, which has always been built on the idea of being a successful businessman and cultural icon, is now under threat. The allegations against him have made it difficult for him to maintain the image he's cultivated over the years, and without that image, it's hard to see how Diddy's business ventures can continue to thrive. The partnerships that were once the backbone of his empire are starting to crumble, and it's unclear if Diddy will be able to recover.
This fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it fucks, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
As the fallout from the Musk-Diddy scandal continues, it's becoming increasingly clear that this is about more than just two powerful men trying to protect their reputations. It's about the way power, influence, and privilege are used to shield individuals from accountability. It's about the alliances that are formed in the shadows and the secrets that are kept behind closed doors. And it's about what happens when those secrets start to come to light. The public is watching. They're demanding answers. They want to know how deep these connections go, what other secrets are being hidden, and who else might be involved. And as the pressure continues to mount, it's becoming clear that this story is far from over. Musk and Diddy may have thought they could control the narrative, but the truth has a way of coming out, and when it does, it's going to be a reckoning like no other. For now, Musk and Diddy are both trying to navigate the fallout as best they can. Musk is attempting to distance himself while Diddy is trying to salvage what's left of his reputation. But no matter what they do, the damage has been done. Their alliances, their reputations, and their carefully curated public images have all taken a hit. And as the world watches to see what happens next, one thing is clear. The days of the UN table elite are numbered. Let's face it, it's been a wild few years watching some of the world's most powerful figures fall from grace. Scandal after scandal. We keep getting smacked in the face with revelations that our so-called leaders have been hiding skeletons big enough to fill warehouses, from dirty financial tricks to outright criminal behavior. These people are apparently playing by a very different set of rules. Ready for a deep dive into the elite's finest hits? Epstein is a guy whose name still sends shivers down the spines of the rich, and famous his 2019 arrest for intimate trafficking was only the tip of the iceberg. What really grabbed headlines was the list of people who seemed all too friendly with him. Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, just a few among many who've been caught in Epstein's orbit. Now, whether they were involved or not is a question still cloaked in denial and mysterious shrugs, and of course Epstein's sudden death in prison. Let's just say not everyone's buying the self-harm narrative. The elite have tried to distance themselves, but the damage to their reputations lingers. Suddenly, more big names. Kevin Spy, Louis C.K., and others found themselves facing accusations. Hollywood's glamorous image was forever tarnished, and it became painfully clear that the industry was built on more than just movie magic. It thrived on violence and silence.
Yeah, it's not what I wanted. The thing is, though, there's no victim there. No! Like, nobody feels sorry for those guys at all. Not even for a second. A guy that the lady who's a casting director, like, hey, He decided to do what he wanted to do. It's like, such a different thing than a guy being a casting agent that's the actress.
Robert Menendez back at it again. This New Jersey senator has been knee-deep in corruption scandals since anyone can remember. Fast forward to 2023, and he's facing new charges involving bribes, gold bars, and piles of cash. It reads like a mob movie. In 2017, his first corruption trial ended in a hung jury, and it seems like that wasn't enough to convince him to walk the straight and narrow. Menendez insists he's innocent, but at this point, can we really be surprised when a career politician is accused of playing dirty? It's almost like corruption is the job description. Hollywood loves drama, but no one expected the 2022 Academy Awards to include a slap heard round the world. Will Smith's decision to walk on stage and slap comedian Chris Rock after a joke about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith shocked everyone, overshadowing the awards themselves. Smith's carefully curated public image took a hit, and the backlash raised questions about whether fame makes celebrities think they're above the rules, or if the industry encourages it. Tom Cruise is one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, but his connection to Scientology has always been a subject of controversy. The church, with its secretive practices and allegations of violence, has raised eyebrows for years. Cruise's involvement in promotion of the organization have often put him at odds with the public. His bizarre interviews, remember the Oprah couch-jumping moment, didn't help matters either. Despite his box office success, Cruise's association with Scientology continues to cast a shadow over his career, highlighting the strange intersection of celebrity and cult-like devotion. In 2019, the world learned that even Hollywood stars play dirty when it comes to giving their kids an advantage. Lori Loughlin, best known for her role on Full House, and her husband Massimo Giulia, were caught in a college admissions bribery scheme, paying big money to get their daughters into prestigious universities. The scandal exposed how the rich and famous were willing to bend the rules to secure their children's futures. While ordinary families struggled to make ends meet, Loughlin ended up serving jail time, but the whole affair left many wondering how deep the privileged rabbit hole goes. Kanye West has always been a lightning rod for controversy, but his behavior in recent years has been particularly erratic. From his 2020 presidential bid to his public feuds with other celebrities and disturbing anti-Semitic comments, Kanye has managed to alienate fans and fellow artists alike. The rapper's unpredictable actions have put a spotlight on mental health in the entertainment industry, but they've also shown how fame can amplify a person's worst tendencies. Kanye scandals are a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power. An influence billionaire, Elon Musk, might not be a Hollywood star, but his antics are pure entertainment. Musk's 2022 takeover of Twitter turned into a soap opera, with mass layoffs, bizarre policy changes, and public feuds playing out in real time. Musk's attempt to reshape the platform as his own image quickly spiraled into chaos, prompting many to wonder if his genius reputation was overrated. The Twitter debacle highlighted how even tech moguls can crumble under the pressure of public scrutiny, and how power doesn't always mean competence. Ellen DeGeneres was once known as the Queen of Nice, but the facade began to crack in 2020 when former staffers spoke out about the toxic work environment behind the scenes of her hit talk show. Allegations of bullying, racism, and mistreatment led to a very public downfall, with Ellen issuing multiple apologies. The scandal forced the industry to reconsider the disconnect between on-screen personas and real-life behavior, reminding everyone that not all smiles are genuine. Few Hollywood scandals have been as messy in public as the legal battles between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Their toxic relationship played out in courtrooms across the world, with each accusing the other of violence. The 2022 defamation trial, in particular, became a media circus, with fans picking sides and social media. Becoming a battleground splendor, the trial laid bare the darker side of celebrity relationships, proving that even the most beloved stars have their demons, and that public perception can change on a dime. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step back from royal duties in 2020 sent shockwaves through both the monarchy and Hollywood. Their move to California and subsequent tell-all interviews, especially with Oprah, revealed tensions within the royal family, highlighted issues of race, mental health, and media intrusion. The Sussex departure from the royal fold transformed them into Hollywood royalty of sorts. But it also attracted criticism and backlash. Their story is a reminder of how the lines between royalty and celebrities are blurrier than ever. In 2021, tragedy struck the set of the movie Rust when Alec Baldwin accidentally discharged a prop gun, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. The incident led to a flurry of lawsuits, blame shifting, and debates about safety standards on film sets. Baldwin's high-profile stat made the tragedy all the more shocking, and it exposed the often overlooked dangers of film production. The scandal surrounding Russ serves as a sobering reminder that even in Hollywood, the glitz and glamour can't hide the rifts of the job. Kevin Spacey was once one of Hollywood's most respected actors, but in 2017, multiple allegations of intimate misconduct brought his career to an abrupt halt. Spacey's attempts to deny the allegations only made matters worse. He was quickly dropped from projects, including his lead role in House of Cards. His downfall was part of the larger number me to match or compete with the less popular actors. Again and again, the lesser stars show how quickly a beloved public figure can become persona nata. Stai's story is a harsh reminder that no amount of talent can excuse predatory behavior. Is Musk genuinely exposing high-profile secrets, or is he just playing the public for clicks? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.